Jakże miło było usłyszeć Państwa śmiech.
It was very
Mam
nice to
wrażenie, że
hear
dzięki temu
you
też
laughing.
jesteśmy.
I hope that thanks to this we are closer. It's good to reflect upon important matters and to be closer, but it's also great to laugh together. To complete the last day, we would like to inspire you to thinking of a better future for people and animals on the planet we share. So Jane Goodall will deliver a speech on this topic. She's the founder of Jane Goodall Institute and UN Messenger of Peace. She is a world-renowned ethologist and activist, inspiring great understanding and action on behalf of the natural world. Her lecture, I hope her lecture will be inspiration for you. I also encourage you to listen to her subcast and I would like to recommend the book. She has recently written another books and now I would like to invite you to listen to the lecture by Dr. Jane Goodall.
Hello, this is Jane Goodall, and I really want to thank you for giving me the chance to share a few thoughts at this important gathering. As everyone knows, we're going through pretty dark times politically, socially, and environmentally. Unfortunately, but understandably, environmental concerns have been pushed into the background, first by the COVID pandemic and then the situation in Ukraine. But it's desperately important that we get together to tackle the twin threats of climate change and loss of biodiversity, because this together threatens the future of life on planet Earth, including our own. Already climate change, which is caused by the accumulation of the so-called greenhouse gases that form a blanket around the world, trapping the heat of the sun. The main gas is CO2, which is released by the burning of fossil fuels and by our destruction of forests and other ecosystems that extract CO2 from the atmosphere and store it in leaves, trunks, and soil. And it's all released back into the atmosphere when we destroy that ecosystem. Methane is another potent greenhouse gas. The heating globe has caused changes in weather patterns around the world already. There are more frequent, terrifying storms, more serious flooding, longer droughts, and horrendous wildfires. Sea levels are rising as the water heats and ice melts. And by the way, the ocean is becoming increasingly polluted, which is preventing it absorbing more CO2 from the atmosphere. Permafrost is melting, releasing large amounts of methane gas. The land is polluted and the soils killed by the use of toxic agricultural chemicals. Huge areas are cleared to provide grazing for livestock or to grow grain to feed the billions of animals raised in inhumane conditions in factory farms. A lot of water, which is increasingly scarce in many places, is needed to change plant to animal protein, and the animals produce huge amounts of methane in their digestion. Moreover, industrial animal farming, just like the selling of wild animals in the inhumane wildlife markets around the world, provide more and more opportunities for the spillover, the jumping of animal pathogens to humans. And this, of course, is what led to the COVID pandemic, when a virus from one animal jumped into one human, bonded with a cell, and caused a new so-called zoonotic disease. We're told that over 70% of all new human diseases in the last few decades are zoonotic in origin. I want to add here that science has now finally admitted that humans are not the only sentient beings on the planet with personality, mind, capable of problem solving, and emotions such as contentment, joy, frustration, anger, fear. More countries now accept the fact that animals, including not only mammals, but birds, reptiles, amphibians, and even fish and octopuses, are sentient and have emotions and can feel pain. And that includes the animals in our factory farms, wildlife markets, and those in medical research. Now, to return to our destructive behavior. If we carry on with business as usual, well, we're doomed. And so long as short-term gain is seen as more important than protecting the environment for the future, and there is the absurd belief there can be unlimited economic development on a planet with finite natural resources, then those natural resources will be plundered unmercifully. So it's really important that everyone understands that we depend on the natural world, on healthy ecosystems, that is, for food, water, everything. An ecosystem, as I learned when I was studying chimpanzees in the rainforest, is a complex and interconnected web of life in which every species of animal, plant, fungus, and tree has a role to play. Every time a species disappears from an ecosystem, that system is weakened, and this may lead to its total collapse. I truly believe it's not too late to slow down climate change and the loss of species, but it means we must get together and take action now, before it's too late. We know what should be done. We have the tools and the knowledge to do it. But it remains to persuade governments and corporations to subsidize scientific innovations such as renewable energy, like solar and wind power, electric cars, research into alternatives to industrial agriculture, such as regenerative agriculture and permaculture, and a return to small family farms. And we must help people understand that each one of us makes some impact on the planet every single day. And if we make even small ethical choices in what we buy, did it harm the environment in its production? Was it cruel to animals? Is it cheap because of unfair wages along the supply chain? And if the answer is yes, don't buy it. Consumer pressure is gradually bringing about change in business practices, as well as sometimes CEOs who truly do care. Citizens can support campaigns to save wild habitats, to prosecute cruelty to animals, to ban single-use plastic, and, importantly, to green the city. So many people are now dissociated from the natural world, and urban tree planting not only lowers temperatures and captures CO2 and brings insects and birds to the city, but it's been scientifically proved that time in nature is beneficial for mental and physical health, and especially important for children. We must work together to tackle the crises we've created. We must involve scientists, decision makers, and the general public. And young people who've unfortunately been born into a world full of problems created by us, then they need to be involved in coming up with solutions. As long ago as the late 1980s, I was meeting young people all around the world who were losing hope. And that's when I decided to do something to help. I asked them why they were feeling hopeless or despairing or angry. And they said, well, you've compromised our future and there's nothing we can do about it. We've been stealing the future of our young people probably since the Industrial Revolution. But was it too late? Was there nothing they could do? I disagreed with them there. And so Roots and Shoots was formed in 1991. And we decided from the beginning, 12 students and me in Tanzania, that every Roots and Shoots group would choose 3 projects, one to help people, one to help animals, one to help the environment, because it's all interrelated. and that the main message would be that every individual makes a difference every day and can choose the kind of difference they make. So these young people are now in 65 countries and growing. Members are from kindergarten through university, everything in between, and more adults are forming Roots and Shoots groups. And all of them are working to make the world better for people, animals, and the environment. What are they doing? Well, they get to choose planting trees, volunteering in animal shelters, helping street children, raising money for causes, whatever they choose. And they're so imaginative. So we get reports from all around the world. And I tell you, these young people are truly making a difference. It's not that they can, they are. We partner with other youth groups that share our values and have similar programs. But we need to involve many more young people in many more countries, because we need to create a critical mass of educated youth, the young people who will become the compassionate citizens of tomorrow, the teachers, politicians, lawyers, business people, bus drivers, gardeners, parents, everyone. And they will understand that every day, every one of us makes a difference, and we can choose what sort of difference we make. When hundreds, then thousands, and hopefully millions of people make ethical decisions as to how they live their lives, then even if their choices seem small, like turning out lights, moving to a plant-based diet, planting a tree, recycling and reusing, and trying to prevent waste, and so on, cumulatively, this will make a big difference. It's true that more people are aware of what's going on, but they mostly seem to lack the will to take action. And very often, I've discovered, this is because they've been overwhelmed by the magnitude of the problems and lost hope. For me, hope is not just wishful thinking. It's about taking action. I see humanity as at the mouth of a very long, very dark tunnel, and right at the end of that tunnel is a little star shining. That's hope. But it's no good sitting at the mouth of the tunnel and hoping that star will come to us. No, we must roll up our sleeves and climb over, crawl under, work our way around all the problems, the ones I've mentioned and the others that I haven't, that lie between us and that star. The good news, every single problem has a group of people working to solve it. Unfortunately, so many people work in their own narrow little space and not realize that when they've solved their problem, this could lead to problems elsewhere. We need to be thinking about the problems as a whole. So let's join the young people and say and mean it, that together we can save the world. Together we will save the world, because we must. Thank you.
Na końcu tego tunelu
At the end of the tunnel, there is a tiny star, and we will save the world because we have to. Two messages for you. One is good, the other one is good. The first one is, it's all over for today. Now you can start talking, discussing, or quiet thinking and digesting what you heard today. The second good news is whole tomorrow ahead of us, and I'd like to invite you now for that. Good night to all of you. I can't wait to see you tomorrow. Olga Brzezińska, thank you very much. Good night.
It's not always easy to recognize. It may look like this, or like this. It may be a burden, but it is a responsibility that we embrace nonetheless. But if it means this for one person and this for someone else, maybe it ultimately means being there for one another. It isn't handed to us, but we know where to find it and how it feels, how it tastes, and what it sounds like when we finally have it. It means different things to different people, but for many, it means everything. And if we all fight for it, it will eventually bring us together.
Atlas Network is, as the name suggests, a network, and it's global. We work all around the world. We're based in the U.S. We have about 159 partners in the United States right now, and the bulk of our partners are outside, nearly 500 in total.
Atlas Network, it connects people from all over the world defending the idea of human dignity, defending human rights and personal liberties.
Atlas Network is focusing on, I think, the most important and moral cause in the entire world.
We partner with local innovators, local leaders who understand conditions on the ground in communities facing real challenges. We look at the people from the worldwide freedom movement that are passionate, are ready to make a difference, understand local conditions, and we invest in them.
At Atlas Network, we unleash individual ingenuity to enrich humanity.
The United States does not have a lock on the idea of freedom and liberty. Those ideas are beyond borders.
One of the main goals of Atlas Network is to eradicate poverty around the world, and we do that by investing millions of dollars in our partners' work every year.
Historically, wealthy nations around the world have tried to help low-income countries develop. The way we've been doing it traditionally has not really been working. So there's a movement to do development differently, and that means we need to step back as outsiders and rethink the role that we're playing in helping people in low-income countries achieve their dreams.
We want to make the world a better place. We want to make the world a freer world.
All of us want to leave a legacy and be part of something big to make a better world. This is exactly the work of Atlas Network.
With our growing number of hundreds of successful partners, we're stronger than ever.
Changing the world
Changing the world
Changing the world
starts together
with us.